here's how much money that person has in their investment account if they simply blindly invest in the S&P 500, literally just throw their money in there, grab any S&P 500 stock. This is how much money they have on average. After 5 years, they have $10,707. So let's just stop right there. Let's freaking stop right there. Let's not even get to the fun numbers. 5 years. 5 years. Let me ask you a question. If somebody says that they're poor, but they have $10,707 in their stock portfolio, would you believe them? Would you consider that person to be poor? If they say, "Man, I'm struggling, dog. It's hard out here. I can barely make it." But then you look at their Robinhood account, they have $10,707. Would that person be considered poor anymore? Okay, Veronica says yes. She's the only one I see a yes with. I don't know a single person in poverty that has $10,700 in their stock portfolio. Most people can't even come up with $1,000 for an emergency expense. So literally, all we're talking about is a 5 year sacrifice. This is how sick our country has become, that we're not even prepared to make a 5 year sacrifice for ourselves. But we'll make a 5 year sacrifice for other things. I've seen people sacrifice 5 years to try to make it to the NBA. They sacrifice like 15 years for that. I've seen people sacrifice 5 years to learn how to go work for white people. They go to college. They call that college, college and a master's degree or something like that. 4 years, 5 years, whatever, right? Um, I've seen people sacrifice 5 years for other things. I've seen people sacrifice 5 years by paying their car note on time for 5 years. In fact, some people will do that for 30 years. I've seen people sacrifice 5 years, to pay rent on time, to make sure the landlord's good because you love the landlord more than you care about yourself. Apparently, I don't know that this is your training. This is brainwashing. This is our Stockholm syndrome, right? So our financial Stockholm syndrome makes us look at ourselves in the mirror and say, "Holy crap, what am I doing?" Right? So we'll sacrifice 5 years for other things, but we don't consciously sacrifice 5 years for ourselves because I just showed you with very basic elementary mathematics that a 10-year-old can understand that just a 5 year investing sacrifice gets you out of poverty. And then let me ask you another question. Give me a yes if you agree with this. I would argue that 95% of all Black people can afford $5 a day on something. Because think about it. If we couldn't afford $5, we couldn't go to the liquor store. How many of y'all know Black people that can go to the liquor store? If we couldn't afford $5, we couldn't go buy chicken. How many of y'all know Black people who eat chicken? Anybody know a Black person somewhere who eats chicken? What do you think? If we didn't have $5, we couldn't go to McDonald's. Did you? I mean, if you look, have you looked at the prices of McDonald's value meals lately? Don't walk up in McDonald's for $5. You're gonna walk out of there hungry. So I've seen people, and Lord Jesus, don't let me get into other stuff. Don't let me start talking about those Beyonce tickets. I mean, that country Carter tour ain't cheap. I can't afford to go. I can't afford to go to the country Carter tour, but my wife could. My wife went. My wife and my sister went. So that's more like their thing.